Born into slavery in the 1st century Roman Empire, a man named Epictetus knew the reality of chains better than most. He endured physical torment and the complete absence of personal rights. And yet, he would go on to teach that most of us, living in comparative luxury, are the true slaves. He found a profound and unshakable freedom, not by breaking his shackles, but by forging a key within the unyielding walls of his own mind. Epictetus was born around 50 AD in Hierapolis, a city in modern-day Turkey, then a part of the sprawling Roman Empire. We don't know his birth name. Epictetus was a label simply meaning acquired or property. He was sold into slavery and brought to Rome, the violent, glittering heart of the world. His master was Epictetus, a man who had himself been a slave, but who rose to become the administrative secretary of the infamous Emperor Nero. In this world, a slave was an object, a res, a thing. Their body, their time, their labor, all belonged to another. They could be beaten, sold, or killed on a whim. Yet it was in this environment of absolute powerlessness that Epictetus began to study philosophy. He attended the lectures of the Stoic Musonius Rufus, who, against all convention, taught anyone who wished to learn, including women and slaves. It was here, in the shadow of the Colosseum and the Emperor's palace, that Epictetus began to formulate a philosophy not of abstract ethics, but of sheer survival. A philosophy born from the undeniable truth of his own life. My body is not my own, but my mind. My mind is everything. There is a story, passed down by the early Christian writer Origen, that perfectly captures the crucible in which Epictetus's philosophy was forged. One day, his master, Epictetus, in a fit of rage, or perhaps simple cruelty, began to violently twist Epictetus's leg. As the pressure mounted, Epictetus did not scream or beg. He reportedly looked at his master with an unnerving calm and said, "It will break." The bones snapped. Epictetus, without a change in his expression, simply added, "I told you it would break." He would walk with a limp for the rest of his life. This moment reveals the bedrock of his entire worldview. He had already made a distinction between his physical body and his inner self. The leg was a thing his master could control, a thing that could be broken. But his reaction, his judgment, his inner tranquility, that was a territory Epictetus could not touch. This is the Stoic principle, known as the dichotomy of control. It is the simple but profound understanding that some things are up to us and others are not. Our modern lives are governed by this same law. You can be laid off from a job you love. A relationship can end against your will. Your health can fail unexpectedly. These are external events, like the twisting of the leg. They are not up to us. But our response, whether we descend into bitterness and despair, or whether we meet the event with courage, acceptance, and a clear-eyed plan for what to do next, that is entirely up to us. This is where our true power lies. Epictetus forces us to ask, what parts of your life do you treat as your own, which are in reality as fragile and external as a limb in another's grasp? After the death of Nero, Epictetus was eventually granted his freedom. He began to teach philosophy in Rome, a crippled former slave, instructing the sons of senators and aristocrats on the nature of the good life. The core of his teaching was a radical re-evaluation of what we consider good and bad. In his discourses, recorded by his student Arian, he states, "Men are disturbed not by things, but by the views which they take of things." This seems simple, but its implications are vast. A traffic jam is not inherently bad. It is just stationary cars. It is our judgment This is ruining my day. I'm going to be late. That creates the anger and stress. A critical comment from a boss is not inherently bad. It is just words. It is our interpretation. This means I'm a failure. My career is over. That creates the suffering. Epictetus argued that the universe is indifferent. Events are neutral. They are raw data. It is the meaning we assign to them that gives them the power to uplift us or destroy us. This is the Stoic principle of assenting to impressions. The only true good is a virtuous character, and the only true evil is a corrupted one. Everything else is indifferent. Consider the sheer discipline this requires. For a man whose body was owned, brutalized, and permanently damaged to conclude that his broken leg was not an evil, but simply an indifferent external, is an act of incredible mental fortitude. He taught that our freedom is measured by the space between an external event and our internal response. In that space, we have a choice. We can choose to assent to our initial, panicked impression, or we can pause, examine it, and choose a more rational and virtuous response. The chains that truly bind us, he realized, are not forged from iron, but from our own unexamined opinions. This leads to the most challenging and empowering element of Epictetus's thought. If we can separate ourselves from externals, and if we can choose our response to neutral events, then what is this self that is doing the choosing? Epictetus gave it a name, the prohairesis. This is often translated as moral purpose, will, or faculty of choice. It is the command center of the soul. He famously declared, "You can bind my leg, but my prohairesis, not even Zeus himself, can overpower." This was not arrogance. It was a precise definition of his inner citadel. A tyrant could take his property, break his body, end his life. But a tyrant could not force him to assent to a false judgment. A tyrant could not make him believe that injustice was good or that his own dignity was lost. That power, and that power alone, belonged to him. The prohairesis is the one thing in the universe that is truly, unequivocally yours. In our world, the attacks are rarely so physical. They are insults online, social snubs, professional setbacks. Our impulse is to feel victimized, to blame the algorithm, the culture, the other person. Epictetus would find this a profound abdication of our power. He would say that no comment can harm your prohairesis. No algorithm can conquer your will. The only person who can surrender your inner citadel is you. This is a difficult truth, because it places the full weight of our tranquility directly on our own shoulders. In the year 93 AD, the Emperor Domitian, wary of philosophers, banished them from Rome. Epictetus, the man who had survived slavery under Nero, simply packed his few belongings and moved to Nicopolis in Greece, where he founded a school and taught for the rest of his life. He saw the banishment not as a punishment, but simply as a change in location, another external event, to be met with the same inner calm. We began with the image of chains, cold and heavy, but Epictetus showed that the most formidable prison is not made of iron, but of our desires and our fears. It's the prison of believing that happiness depends on our job title, our bank account, or the opinions of others. His philosophy was not an intellectual game. It was a liberation theology, written in the language of scars. He teaches us that we can be in physical chains and be the freest person in the room, or we can have every worldly advantage and be a slave to our own anxieties. Freedom is not a place or a circumstance. It is a choice about where you locate your sense of self.